Good morning. We're going to be doing lesson 2 starting on page 192. It's about meiosis. I have heard it pronounced meiosis, but I think the proper pronunciation is meiosis. So starting on 192, we are going to be taking Cornell notes on this, but this time they're a little bit different. I have actually entered a lot of the information, and this time you are going to be filling in what would the question be on some parts, and then some parts you're going to be answering the question. So let's take a look on page 192, lesson 2, meiosis. Our essential question is, how do cells divide for sexual reproduction? And then at the very bottom, we have our objectives. Again, 712F, recognize that according to cell theory, all organisms are composed of cells, and cells carry on similar functions such as extracting energy from food to sustain life. And 714C, recognize that inherited traits of individuals are governed in the genetic material found in the genes within the chromosomes in the nucleus. And we said that genetic material was DNA. And then we have a microscopic picture here of the egg cell and the sperm cell. And the caption reads, the sperm cell and egg cell shown here were produced by a special kind of cell division, and that is called meiosis. So looking at your Cornell notes template, I want you to fill in the topic, the objectives, of course your name, class period, and date, and the essential question. All right, so you should have written meiosis as your topic. 712F we said was cell theory. 714C we said was inherited traits come from DNA. Of course, this is November the 18th. I said practice writing your month in cursive, so by the end of the year you can teach yourself, you will have taught yourself how to write in cursive. And our essential question, how do cells divide for sexual reproduction? Now we're going to go ahead and look at page 193. I'm going to read each of these prediction questions. You're going to mark true or false as you are thinking now. It doesn't mean they have to be right. It's just, how are you thinking about it now? So true or false, the offspring of sexual reproduction have fewer chromosomes than their parents have. During sexual reproduction, two cells combine to form a new organism. Sex cells are produced by cell division. Sex cells have half the normal number of chromosomes. Number 2, we have some calculations. It says organisms have a set number of chromosomes. For example, humans have 46 chromosomes in body cells and half that number, or 23, in sex cells. In the table below, fill in the number of chromosomes for different organisms. So these are some you may have to Google to find out the answers. So humans, we said a full set was 46 and a half set was 23. Oh, you don't actually have to Google this. So if a half set is 4, well, what's times 2 going to be? That's going to be 8, right? If 39 is half a set times 2, you would put the answer there. If a full set is 24, then I'm dividing by 2, and I'm going to get a half set is 12. And then if a full set is 48, divide by 2, and you get your answer here. All right, so at the bottom, it says synthesize. You can often define an unknown word if you know the meaning of its word parts. Use the word parts and the sentence below to make an educated guess about the meaning of homologous. So homo means same. Logos means word or structure. Like a logo for McDonald's is that big M, right? So that's a word or a structure. So homo is same, logos is word or structure. Homologous chromosomes are a pair of chromosomes that look similar and have the same genes. So you're going to make an educated guess about the meaning of the term homologous on these lines here. I'm going to put our reminder to put in glossary these two terms, homologous chromosomes and meiosis. All right, on to the next page. It says, how do sex cells differ from body cells? We know differ is they're not the same, right? They're different. Before sexual reproduction can take place, each parent cell produces sex cells. Sex cells have half of the genetic information that body cells have. Thus, when genetic information from two parents combine, the offspring will have a full set of genetic material. The offspring will have the same total number of chromosomes as each of its parents. Looking at this picture, it says this photo shows the 23 chromosome pairs, so 23 times 2 would be 46 chromosomes, right? In a human male. Body cells contain all of the chromosomes, but sex cells contain one chromosome from each pair. So like if we cut this in half, it would have either that one or that one, okay? Males have an X and a Y chromosome. Females have two X chromosomes. So the X chromosome is longer. The Y almost looks like half. So if you have an XY, that would be a male child. If you have two X's, that would be a female child. And that is determined by the sperm cell, not the egg. Chromosome number. In body cells, most chromosomes are found in pairs that have the same structure and size. These homologous chromosomes carry the same genes. Chromosomes found in pairs that have the same structure and size that carry the same genes, those are homologous chromosomes. A homologous chromosome pair may have different versions of the genes that they carry. One chromosome pair is made up of sex chromosomes. That's these that we were talking about, the X and the Y. Sex chromosomes control the development of sexual characteristics. In humans, these chromosomes are called X and Y chromosomes. Cells with a pair of every chromosome are called diploid. Many chromosomes, including humans, have diploid body cells. Now, diploid means both sides. Haploid means half the chromosomes. All right, so looking at the notes that I have typed in, it said sex cells have half the genetic material, or 23 chromosomes, as body cells, 46 chromosomes. That is the answer to a question. What is the question? Well, it's how do sex cells differ from body cells? So you're going to write in, how do sex cells differ from body cells? Question mark. Now the next one, I didn't give you the answer, I gave you the question. What is a homologous chromosome? You're going to look back and you're going to answer that question. Okay, hopefully your answer has something like this. It's a pair of chromosomes with the same structure and size, but they can carry different versions of the genes. It's the same genes, like for eye color, but it might be a different version, like brown eyes or blue eyes. The next answer says sex cells or gametes contain half the chromosomes as body cells, so that when they combine, the resulting zygote, which is a fertilized egg, will have the normal 46 chromosomes, which is in humans. We're going to read on. Why do organisms need sex cells? Most human body cells contain 46 chromosomes. Think about what would happen if two body cells were to combine. The resulting cell would have twice the normal number of chromosomes. A sex cell is needed to keep this from happening. Sex cells are also known as gametes. Gametes contain half the usual number of chromosomes, one chromosome from each homologous pair, and one sex chromosome. Cells that contain half the usual number of chromosomes are known as haploid. Gametes are found in the reproductive organs of plants and animals. An egg is the gamete that forms the female reproductive organs, and the gamete that forms in male reproductive organs is called the sperm cell. So the answer was sex cells, or gametes, contain half the chromosomes as body cells, so that when they combine, the resulting zygote, or fertilized egg, will have the normal 46 in humans. The question is, why do organisms need sex cells? How are sex cells made? Well, you know that body cells divide by the process of mitosis. Mitosis produces two new cells, each containing exact copies of the chromosomes, and each new cell has a full set of chromosomes. But to produce sex cells, a different kind of cell division is needed. This different kind of cell division is called meiosis. A human egg and a human sperm cell each have 23 chromosomes. When an egg is joined with or fertilized by a sperm cell, the new diploid cell is formed. This new cell has 46 chromosomes, or 23 pairs of chromosomes. One set is from the mother and the other set is from the father. The newly formed diploid cell may develop into an offspring. Meiosis is the type of cell division that produces haploid cells, such as the egg and the sperm. So you should have written in the question here. Now we've got an answer. Meiosis is the cell division that results in 4 haploid, or half the number of chromosomes, sex cells, egg or sperm. And your question would be, how are sex cells made? They're made by meiosis. Looking at this picture, it says haploid, so out here I'm going to write 23 chromosomes. And sperm is haploid, so it's 23 chromosomes. And we're going to add these together, and we're going to get a diploid, which is 46 chromosomes. All right, page 196. Looking at this picture, it's kind of long, it's much longer than mitosis, right? So this is asking, what are the stages of meiosis? Meiosis results in the formation of 4 haploid cells. Each haploid cell has half the number of chromosomes found in the original cell, and meiosis has 2 parts, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Now meiosis 1 is similar, in fact very similar, to mitosis. And the only reason it's not called mitosis is because what you end up with is not 2 identical cells. They're actually 2 different cells. So remember that homologous chromosomes have the same genes, but they're not exact copies of each other. And before meiosis 1 begins, each chromosome is duplicated during interphase, just like in mitosis. So we could actually draw interphase up here, and DNA is duplicated. Okay, we could do that because this is prophase 1, and in prophase 1 the same thing happens. The chromosomes are condensed, and those they're drawn up into an X shape, and each side of the X represents a chromatid, and the point where they touch is called a centromere. During meiosis 1, the pairs of homologous chromosomes and sex chromosomes split apart into 2 new cells, and these cells each have 1/2 of the chromosome pairs and their duplicate chromatids, but they still have 46 chromosomes. It's just how they split that's a little different. So let's look at metaphase 1. Before, all of the X's lined up in a single file. Here they're lining up in pairs. Notice this is a blue, this is a green, this is an orange, this is a yellow. Okay, so they're different but similar. During anaphase, instead of just pulling the chromosomes apart, they actually pull whole chromosome pairs. And so now we have something here that's not over here, and something there that's not over here. So we end up having a full set of chromosomes, but it's half of the homologous pair. So by telophase 1,